Everybody, I want to hear you. Let's go. Come on. One more time. Come on. I like it from Aka on guitar.
That let me just say that the long and short of the report was this: that inappropriate conduct was exhibited by virtually almost all the candidates, even though you cannot establish, because the candidates were clear that what they did was in light of motivating of a delegate. We believe that that was inappropriate. So in the light of that, the committee's report was to the effect that ideally we should have an annulment of the primaries. However, the committee also acknowledged that there are real obstacles that make it difficult for us to do that. One, the party's constitution does not have a provision for an annulment of election. Two, we are time bound because we need to be presenting a candidate by tomorrow to the Electoral Commission. So given these difficulties, and also there are legal challenges that could be mounted by whoever won, and the party clearly would not be able to go through any of that process without presenting a candidate very quickly. So in the light of that, the party effectively has taken the recommendation, which is that we, given the time and also the legal challenges, we have no option but to present Baba Jamal, who actually won according to the Electoral Commission declaration.
A careful, and I won't say proposed reforms, these are reforms that are going to implement immediately. A careful review of the cocoa sector over the last 8 years revealed gross mismanagement, which requires immediate and comprehensive reforms to address the challenges in the sector. Cabinet has therefore decided on the following reforms to guarantee a fair price to the cocoa farmer, secure the financial viability of the cocoa sector, and ensure the long-term sustainability of the cocoa industry. To bring relief to unpaid cocoa farmers, Cabinet has accordingly directed the Ghana Cocoa Board to commence immediate payment of all affected cocoa farmers. 2. A new cocoa board bill will be presented to Parliament to implement an automatic adjustment of producer price to align with movement in the world market price, exchange rate, and other key variables, and guarantees a minimum of 70% of gross FOB price to be paid to the cocoa farmer. A new financing model for cocoa purchases and related operations with associated benefit for increased processing will be introduced effective 2026-2027 crop season. The current financing model was invented as a necessity after the syndicated loan failed after 32 years of successful implementation, and it was proven not to be sustainable. In fact, it has proven not to be sustainable. The financing model is entirely dependent on the buyer's willingness to bear the financing costs and to pre-finance the purchase of cocoa. The key motivation for buyers in the previous season was the rollover contract priced at a rate of $2,661 per metric ton, when the existing market price were above $8,000 per metric ton. Once the gap between the rollover contract and the market price closes, and the majority of the rollover contracts are serviced, the buyer will not be willing to pre-finance the purchase of cocoa crop. Alternatively, the previous syndicated loan model requires that cocoa board sells forward most of the raw beans to lock in the contract, which repays the loan and serves as collateral as well. This system did not allow cocoa board to optimize prices on the market. In addition, the use of raw beans contract as collateral for the loan meant that Ghana could not optimize its installed capacity for processing. The new financing model will utilize domestic cocoa beans to purchase cocoa. The new financing model will utilize domestic cocoa bonds to purchase cocoa and repay the cocoa proceeds within each crop year. The bonds will be used to raise a revolving fund for cocoa board to turn around at least once during the season. The model will also revive the indigenous license buying companies that have been completely thrown out of business as a result of the current financing model. State-owned produce buying company, PBC, will be revived to resume full operations and become the leading license buying company in the cocoa sector with immediate effect. With the new financing model, cocoa board can sell beans of any volume to local processing companies and financial viability and long-term sustainability of this sector. But before then, it's important for me to, before I go into the main reforms, it's important for me to give you a bit of a background and a context to the current situation. You recall that on Wednesday, 11th of February 2026, Cabinet convened an emergency session to deliberate over development in the cocoa sector. The session considered historical and systemic problems confronting the sector and took key decisions. The meeting noted the following development in the cocoa sector. First, the 2025-2026 cocoa season began in August 2025 with a producer price of 51,660 Ghana cedis per ton, calculated at 70% of the gross FOB of $7,200 United States dollars per ton, using an exchange rate at the time of 10.25 to the US dollar. On the 1st of October 2025, Côte d'Ivoire announced a new producer price, 20% above that of Ghana. In fact, this decision by the Ivorians, coupled with movement in the exchange rate, resulted in a significant difference in the producer price of cocoa between that of Ghana and Ivory Coast. The price difference had the potential to trigger significant smuggling of Ghana's cocoa to Cote d'Ivoire. As a result, the Producer Price Review Committee on Cocoa adjusted the producer price to 58,000 Ghana cedis per ton to reflect an exchange rate of 11.5 cedi to $1. The decision by the PPLC to increase the producer price of cocoa made Ghana's farm gate price competitive and stemmed the potential smuggling of our cocoa beans. From October 2025, unfortunately, the world market price of cocoa started dropping. While the price was declining, Cocoa Board continued to sell the beans until the price fell below $6,400 per metric ton, which is the cost of cocoa from the farm gate to the port. The causes of the situation and the way forward will be my next thing to address. The current situation is largely driven by the unwillingness of buyers to purchase Ghana's cocoa because it has become uncompetitive and very expensive. Cocoa from other producing countries is now selling at a price significantly lower than that of Ghana's producer price. Meanwhile, Cocoa Board did not have the liquidity to purchase cocoa from farmers and stock for hedging or other trading decisions. This was due to the financing model invented in the year 2024-2025 when the syndicated loan failed. Under that model, the buyers financed the purchase. By 2022, Cocoa Board finances had deteriorated badly. It defaulted and restructured the cocoa bills in the year 2023. For the first time in the history of the cocoa industry, in 2023, the annual syndicated suffered significant delays due to the loss of confidence in the Ghanaian economy and the sector. The first tranche was received on 22nd December 2023, 4 months after the commencement of the season.
Smart do nine abapa no nsia ho orofo haye today Ghana News TV na we no kwamra dwumedi ya hyehyɛ ai de ba wakwan mu yawa da bia ye bra ya bo no nsia na ne yasan esi konwa samre ye de dwumedi ebrel na medo bia se edru every Thursday bia na munya daje se mu bre, especially people are more online no so no or the internet mutimi, in fact mutimi eji bre eto data some so beji bre na muti dwumedi na muso mudi magin chaba edo we ask say share say we do this for God and also for the love of the country anti and there is a maba mama na akwa babim na mambo matnase. Today's show is going to be an interesting one, and of course Nancy Musha panelists ni na 3 na edeba. Yes, NCB abeko 4 na 55 because the show is getting bigger and better because of Madawo Momoa ne mo support nti edo bibiase na ene there are a lot of things I better tackle on our show. Nemo Mekai said we are live via the Twitch on the satellite, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Search handle no Today Ghana News TV. Sounds na your stations are summary almost yasin. They make sure say there be no more de kwa mayama and biamia Samri omunso omutie ebi ne High FM 93.5 ewa Chimheman in the Eastern Region, Samson and Kings Radio in Accra, Jamframa TV or Rara, Uti Region, Sekina Information Center, and yet totally northern Human Community Information Center, and only one quanta, Samson of Fans TV, or a flow in the Volta region. These are the channels, sir. Omoboye na API ichi, said ya, you media no bit me ako, me be brave. Mr. Sir, Uba and as in time so now but your program na Adeba Copen a message of your mammy. Make sure so what share you medium. I would like here now what share. Now when sounds no who are Quenya say would what doing share about your comment section as especially on Facebook and on Twitch. You better brenna kindly now. Inti I am sana Miss Semreno. I would like to zoom in straight to the Evening Tribune newspaper. Let me time because my video phone boss. I would just like to zoom in straight into the Evening Tribune newspaper. And some a front page na Evening Tribune newspaper there said the American one of the most authentic newspapers that just said there's no bias. Would you be now kind of there? Course we're gonna be wunya information in now is one of the most authentic newspapers that bias be in him. Right, so there you have it on your screen. Ghana's only watchdog, yes, Shebebia, dear Koneba in Bibiawu. So on the forefront of the Evening Tribune newspaper, we have Wood to be set for freedom. Wood to be set for freedom. Question. Sembisa. Secret deals could corrupt trials. Wood to be set for freedom. Sembisa Saturn now say. Secret deals cloud corruption trials. Okay. Samson on the right hand side, no Osha Baba Jama na Samri. What's ne Natari Fita nature so come. Na enjoying NDC retains Baba Jamal as Ayawasu East candidate. NDC retains Baba Jamal as Ayawasu East candidate. Oba say on NDC Professionals Forum launches Germany chapter. February 2025, 2020, February 21st. I beg your pardon. NDC Professionals Forum launches Germany chapter on February 21st. But we and some people our front page na Sabreno baby oh. And it's a auto need to ne bo nya den kra baby a wagana bia wenya bi na wato akan na emunsam de ekon neighbor na wo mse okwaji bi na kan na also get yourself abreast with whatever that is going on in Ghana. Sabe pepe. That's it. So maybe in sana I would want to even introduce my guest, but I say we are almost set for now. So I would just want to take a quick break. Na me fa monko beyond makeup. Na me ko jin krato na me ba afi maji bra na me introduce me guest and dey me no mo be di juma na bom. Na ya to aso pepepe Mr. Say na me kan no se oba na ye ha if you are streaming on Facebook and any of our social media platforms or any of the digital platforms, so the obey just make sure say obey share na jumedi no it make up here for so say the obey mo so mo de o madwen twebeba me da mo say ma me ntwa me ho sema ba ko me ba e beto aso.
Welcome to Beyond Makeup, where beauty and confidence are taken to a whole new level. Here, we pamper and take care of you like royalty. Enjoy our gentle waxing, refreshing facials, and soothing massages that melt away stress and leave your skin glowing. We also offer professional makeup services, manicures, pedicures, durable nail extensions, and perfectly sculpted ombre brows. We give you the most perfect soft lashes that highlight your natural beauty. At Beyond Makeup, every visit is more than just a service. It's an experience of care, elegance, and transformation. Locate us at Chado Last Stop or call us on 0559 933 505 or 0506 474 911. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Beyond Makeup, your journey to wellness starts here.
Oh, say yay! The African arts Food, Music and Culture Festival. Armenia 2026. Society, ya pay hunting of a Francis Consuls, Eto Esa Afro Esbitesa, and what Ghana, any Africa, some showcase creativity, and what global stage. So we artists, fashion designer, chef, musician, and empo, cultural entrepreneur, and woman. So what the African young creativity, every the global stage, and what Europe. Ya boy ya pomo atuho. Ya show registration I say, and it's 2% participating. And now on getting more information there. Any other contact in our home so +374 558 508 11 and +233 542 545 815. Following our Facebook, Ope and Sembisa and na bibi piata e fire home. Ubetimi I email and so ewo African Cultural Festival 2018 at gmail.com. African Arts, Food, Music and Culture Festival, Armenia 2026, made of way. Africa on display, culture without borders. Yeah, that was it.
But that's it. Say, when you're brain now, watching my chance, Macacra, yaba. That's it. And they means I come in penny for me on Betty Juma, studio Hanum, na penny for me on Bebo, piano. Penny Bennett, who do Yadom, founder for the NDC Diaspora Communicators Network. Penny, say, and May, what did the man Casancasa? In him the echo. And now Penny Val's day into now they were starting terminal.
That about half a bantino. Time be an serial way in him, Minia, and one a cosso.
Open your quaba.
Major Seminia, a pombo cordia.
Yamiado. Yamiado, Lishabim. Before more Quenya, at least which any Pamino Ucha Manawakachum say we are back and we are very much active on all our social media platforms on one share. Why? I couldn't go.
Medasipi, Machia, na Machia, a producer, Mr. Adi. Now, made in check a CS so am I in a her any anti phone. Now, said the director kind of say, oh, hey, and I say, Uti, and what through near be said on some remedy and be and I say, oh, hey, Facebook, now I share your link and I'm will be so and your client I should be. Now, what the topics are, ye be discussing after your mind who said a bear man and puntuno. A BCP na SC Brand. Minia, may cost to be when I'm here, ya enkasa your party leaders are movie. You are Johnson Sidin Katia, nay, you are John Domani Mahamani, ya mammy. Jena no Poquajamai, but in check a seer, a coffee, a cocomawon. Now, I didn't check a seer, a mood dupa, a cocoma, Miaminia, Peter Mensa. Our deputy CEO or Tema Shipyard. Medin Jack is here, pa, a coffee, a cocomano. Now, Medin Jack is here, Miami, New York, my contact, Ura Johnny Quabana Aqua, I don't know friend with D or logistics manager or Tema Port. Medin Jack is here, a coffee, a cocomano. Now, Medin Jack is here, Sacoma, young party for soldiers in the same say a Jumano. NPP for to abayi or a candidate in the answer say Juma Nashasi Alanti. Memma will be abamu, Abana or Juma, Ghana for Niaso, the Abana ya Prince Abri. And see, Momay in I came home. Na Yamo Abana Juma dear wood in home, the room, a map of fronty. Now, baby Archiana, Yam Momo didn't see a bakery, a better, Neatreno, said the bear Ghana for Bocoso, Agiatum. Now, or Modium good way or no, Acoso, Atayachi. Timinia, with the Bessia, na. Mama, Yatwaso.
But I say, Sansona, Yawa Abraham Dazi, any member of the NDC Western Region Communications Team. And opening joining. I think the last time when he came on, it was fire ankasa. So they intentionally gang up against if anything, Dr. Masuda Bungu. That's in me Dr. Shedan in name, but or Semobua. Then oba. Nti opening akwaba.
Mini amejoso.
Enumere ide na ekọ apom.
Oba de e de ache ye ahoden e wo honom. Ye se owo nkwan de na wo ade. Nti nyame adom ye ho eye. Mini ano so kan yo se aban papa aba. Enye so bi be ka chiro. Aban papa aba nti. Ama o sha Ghana ye din. Eso bia ho ton kakra. Ye nu ho de. You know what dear. But who say be a kakra who compare with the previous who say where you cry 10,000 times than the previous. Intiminia, Yamiado me one dear.
It's got a catene, then echo. You say on social media, mammy, boy, Jumani at the idea. Eja, oh, no, the cost of grounds, Nina. But me, I'm an overview of whatever that is going on within this Kaduketen constituency.
I mean, Yamedasi, Mammy Fanchi, I can see Emma Yetia for ni Kaduketen constituency for teach you the NDC for Yawo Kaduketen. Nasia Kessia Sunko and Koma ye branches, no. We have over 12 zones. Our Escado Keten, and each of the 12 zones near one, there were a zonal leader one, so one so for Abraham Daz, Mechia Omunina, and at the branch executive. Meaning, Udima, this year NDC for your chance here, be book my new membership registration. Obibia and the corridor say about Papa, it is NDC. No person or join no. Or to me call a polling station, baby or two abano, a branch no. Or to me call no control the dean and this for the South Queen one. Now branch executive for no moody said you mediano. Now base Kadukatana branch executive for no one year brie. So almost be making sure say almost person be NDC no. Almost to me a be NDC for our bro be register omudino. Na ya mama Dr. Grace asama wo kan de base Kadukatana. Ya mama de omo kan se senka ye nya na nka se Grace amanche. Esan se na eye Kadukatana ye won kwaso for the past 24 years ya nom NPP for be di Kadukatana so no ye wan de papa krumpo ena hwe ube Kadukatana ma mi be di heye MP 1 year ni na o hwe expectations amanfo ewo expectations almost set ya mama me no you see as I said 24 years ni no NDC any MP we Kadukatana no ema obi osha ase wa bre Kadukatana e buy in 2004 no onu so pe bibi nti ama expectation e da mama no so and one thing is the woman is like yes Antoine Rebono and yes we see opinions or be making sure say though expectations near high no and so be deliver to the maximum sure and is Kadukatana in Kuala omo SHS any primary school so omo ko school yawo bus Dr. Grace were dedicated to one of my bus na di omo ko anopa ko form ba enwumre e see that esan say ya ma me for no mo Kadukatana omo bre oninti no so omo asne with the transport cost na I bet see awofo ne breso osan so ya ba tentia esan say owo enwumesua ho adwenempa ebema constituency no Shelba is Kadukatana scholarship ahodo amaame na e de ama continuous tertiary students for omo level 200 300 and 400 even those 500 and 600 omo ya medicine no any other courses no or the secretary die o omu school fees even obatampa loan na when na say anom etwo no mo ntumi anya bia na omo ye ho jandam no Na tia maame Dr. Grace ye no de aboa Escado keten manfo. Enye ono nko a enche bia ye maame Dr. Grace. Oba no ne eye Kojokro market air traders for no edi nkomo. Ene sen Kojokro market na e wo hono no ye ba besesa no. Enam Dr. Grace no modebo obo ene lobby otumi lobbying no. Yetumi enya green light enche together with the assembly no. Yade eye Kojokro market no ede ama contract ye besiesie ne 24-hour markets. Enti okono oni traders for no akodi nkita ho. No one who bebi on betumi a relocate. Amomo tumi ase eye market no eni siesie no ase. Enti bia na on just small osugu just small so na eye kwan yon bebe ye ekwan a ha Escado ketenfo ebi eye ntwaban kwanta ehiem ntama krom road no just small my mama Dr. Grace assurance say enche oba be yes kwan no you see say utumi etoto infrastructure ni ye then you can kick start say with other project obetumi there ebe ma Escado keten etumpom and your mommy are willing why a crowd is up so yes I dey do Escado keten and no nko the various chip compounds I am mommy and rana cancer road do by hima eka and now me mommy Dr. Grace so abla no wo position po oboa ye ma yenya chip compound or cancer road and then nyame adom yenya land ye si chip compound papa as this year at no edu roofing level enche bia onbewie e dey ma cancer road enye onu nko oba interest here ebi wo hono so ye mommy Dr. Grace de edwuma pa o did together with the assembly DCE any the technocrat no omama NDC aba enmonyam ewe Escado keten constituency na so ye besre obi enya abotre emfama ye maame no esan se edwumadie no eso yenim so obi a we expectation mumie nyina enya abotre nkakra ebeso obi a so esan se NDC aban de ya ba e de amaga for na Dr. Grace so waba e de ama Escado keten constituency baby owo bia neba Abraham Dazi mechiano sonko minim so wo parliament any help ministry o di jumedie sonko edema amagana mama Ghana any John Mahama amamonu etumi afanintam papa edif
Medase I think the work is commendable na director any mabedwafo wo dem gu me side and come beje yama mpeni John Dramani mama waya de mana yam papa na ubetime declare fugu Wednesday na fugu no afan ko Thursday committee na kamagigi adim as am fugu ndi atonsum no say adim ba Thursday papa na ya de medi no ya papa see ade say fugu na trendy o one she bia say wonya Ghana ni but I think it's a good initiative.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
I mean,
I'm just whiling away time. Yeah,
Fugu has been a part of for a very long time, and so I think that the AC or Zambia no a paved way for us to market our Fugu to the rest of the world, and I've seen the interest apart from even Zambia. It shows that and for him to actually wear that and for that event to happen, it should tell you say you and Romani Mahama you'll be ordained to lead our country. And the marketer at the back is here, will be a sales and then will face and I feel say very commendable. The BCB near us
ahame nka Thursday nka Thursday nka nanka no but I'm just
oh see the senior comrade Yadom kind no Osha I say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ebefe ekwanya no or the enmonyam some glory at the aba oman Ghana mo and such glory no and reflects wo ye bibia emu no and this won't be the first and it won't be the last. And His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will keep on raising the flag of Ghana high. and he will keep on to restore the lost hope. NPP for Edia Koye for the past 8 years. No more to say, oh my Ghana, no my Ghana, Yenny and Munyambiano. It's Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC and the entire team, Ebe making sure say you restore them lost glory back. Look at what just happened. Look at just what happened. It's like a miracle. And right now, Ghana culture is now being Google searcher is the most searched word in the entire world. Fugu, everybody is searching, and this is our culture. This is our heritage. As for Wednesday, so to me, share Wednesday and then Friday, you to me share other Africa and Ghana West now you want also at the account. They have to be a timer. We just have to wear Ghana. We have to wear Ghana and detach ourselves from this colonial mentality and mindset and their way of life, the tie and the suit. That is not Ghana. And that is what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is trying to bring. Because when you of my papa, Openi Papa, he has been ordained that. This is some of the changes, some of the reflections I had. Yes, sir. So look, right now, look at the booming of Fugu as a business. Obia betumia a capitalize take advantage of it. Onye obia owo niswadi huwo vision. Onye myopic to say previous NPP for no myopic short-sighted people now. You can't do what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is doing.
Yeah.
You see, so kudos to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and everybody what to me say he or she will wear Ghana. And let's also commend the parliamentarians. When the president declared Fugu on Wednesday, it was beautiful. And our very own mother, Dr. Grace Professor, gave a statement on the floor of Parliament to unearthing the culture of Ghana when it comes to Fugu. And I love that statement, and it's a commendable, and wherever Dr. Grace says, he should keep up doing that as we continue to sell Ghana.
Thank you. May try some away time just to make sure, say, your last person ever joining, but we'll just continue with the show. So I'm expected to be joined by Dr. Masuda Bungu, only a chairman for the NPP Russia branch. I asked that when he comes, we also give him the opportunity to at least say hi to one or two people. But then we just move on straight into today's business. And the topic I discussing has got to do with the OSP's investigation into the NPP presidential primaries. And I also East NDC parliamentary primaries so far no. I think overvote buying they no. And I think from the NDP side, when it comes to the flag bearership no. Na mwamu said akonya to a prepare even ebusiam mpo said the same thing and chance na NDC so ebi abeto and no has got to do with the parliamentary seat na aye vacant so far no yepe obi occupy na primaries no nti prepare kokaba so we saw some people contesting near there but after all no we've come to a successful elections. But there were some things some over vote buying. And we've even seen the president of the land coming to even talk about some of these issues. Now this is one of the major topics I am discussing tonight. I would want to start my discussion with Openi Bennett, I think we are all preview to the issues into the echo and in the eba. Mr. Mo, now you didn't starting to mobile so more starting set more share. Now, Mumfa Margin Chesumbra. Opening, we are a preview to the issue, but Sisiano, looking at the swift nature, air president and the NDC, it takes you just to address these issues. What do you make of the fast movement? President any penfa Mudi NPP NDC amayo inim amayo ko nim ebe yes swift we na mo ekasite a enema yesu say ekoso voting mo enye. What do you make of that?
Your mania medasipi nsan pancha kɛseɛ nkonkoma yan yɛmpanimfoɔ fi na menkyɛ yɛ high commissioner to South Africa yɛ yɛwura Benjamin Kwashi nkyɛ kɛseɛ ɛkɔma no ne me grand chairman ewura se a South Africa me nkyɛ kɛseɛ ɛma no menua me da I'm prempy no aya na yɛka sɛ NPP ne NDC yɛnyɛ pɛ NDC ne NPP yɛnyɛ pɛ because NDC a party and I say you could be a leader with conscience and the AC no am I who say I'm NDC ni NPP no and soon you womb minia the AC no idea nas nekano adding nemum your constitution no am my home kwama and no be a decision be answer your person taking na intimate take be very vocal and I call for the annulment of the elections. But your constitution, American, your constitution, you know, and say, it bet me annually, you know, an outcome of an election. And you know, I say, for ethnicity, now to normal. And going forward, you know, your constitution, has say, amend the constitution, you know, so the bear may take a very decisive, you know, action against members of the party are engaging in vote buying, and I say, catastrophe. Our elections mo menua I say omaya afi na ye fifiri no say ye ma kwan ma your foundation no ko say ye di sika na ya manyo sem na ye bokwan bone da to man chireba eno so nti na wo say parties no mi no nyina both NPP NDC ne party nketwa ni nyina etimi tena se ne hwe say ye bebo ebetu anamo a ebebo me etima reduce you know vote buying and as you know inducement in elections if you say ye mapama how do we continue ye name the course of Nigeria and I know say Nigeria as much as a very large economy no more than half of our population you know under poverty it's all because almost system the shas you know yes so na yasa say ye bi no and then do madrum pempen so madru and we wouldn't want
I think so. Opening Bennett one. I'll just I'm fixing itself now. I'm back. So let me also move to opening Abraham now. Because I same on the topic and same question. How do you or what do you actually make of the swift movement president in Penifua NDC making just to address the issue of overvote behind Mami moving company Abraham. We'll just give him some time now and fix it. No, na Mamenko Abraham or na Menene interesting comment on this particular one na share. Abraham. Abraham, you have the floor. Right. So I think.
Oh, say yay! The African Arts, Food, Music and Culture Festival, Armenia 2026. Society, ya pa hunting of a Francis Consults, Eto Esa Afro as Bitesa, and Ghana, any Africa, some showcase creativity, and global stage. So we are artists, fashion designer, chef, musician, and empo, cultural entrepreneur, and woman. So what the African young creativity, every global stage, and Europe. Ya boy ya pomo atuho. Ya show registration I say, and it's 2% participating. And now on getting more information there. And you contact you and so +374 558 508 11 and +233 542 545 815. Follow yen ewo Facebook. Ope ensembisa ana bibi piata efa ye ho. Ubetimi a email yen so ewo African Cultural Festival 2018 at gmail.com. African Arts, Food, Music and Culture Festival, Armenia 2026, made of way. Africa on display, culture without borders. Yeah, that was it,
Mira say when you portray am say mo fanche mo say ba announcing time you should know sometimes na atosh makaka na mo metwa so na me dim come say opening Abraham and answer Bennett I ready still on the same topic and what we are discussing about the swift movement IM24 of the NDC realizing whatever that is going on now intervening by giving out their comment on what happened. Opening, what do you make of it?
All right. Also, many bano yen electoral processes and what Ghana hana. The national elections and now the inter-party electoral processes now something like vote buying and vote selling, it's a criminal offense when it comes to the general election or elections. It's a criminal offense. Now, criminal offense is say obi ma bibi say or the to obi adwene so onto abama no ana say obi bibi say or obi was say or the to abama ni pakona. That is the vote buying and the vote selling. Ghana amamrano and so sa say ye show na say nya ye gina so ye betumi aboko adu eden ewo aha na you see salon ebi enshada enni ana amamrano enshada ehame when it comes to the political parties electoral processes. The law is mostly silent when it comes to them. But in the national election, it is there. Now, even for the national election, look, me sometimes, that's what I make catch you want to say. Ghanaians and some of the media outlets, we do what I call reaction hypocrisy. Reaction hypocrisy. And what it means is, you see, if we want to change something, you have to see as a baby. Yem pese ye de vote buying say beto obi vote ye sign your money pese yi na quite free ye elections mu a ene ade a o say dani de nyina na ye bo ho dawuru dani de nyina na o say media for ne ka wonsem dani de nyina na o say NCC yifo ye ho education but yen twen hima asemunsi asemusia ansana obo say ya react e won asem no meanwhile no Ghana ni bia dim say politician bi owo Ghana ha o ma bibi ansana o mo ato aba ma no e na o mo kwoto aba no nso no eji bibi ansana o mo akoto aba no e bia obeka sa asem we onnim say no kra no the person is just trying to be hypocrite na baby a dream pompon so a dream no na ye nyina ye pese ye rally na ye yi side no edifi ho no because mind you Lawrence mind you obi an one ma why na adwe say this kana wenya no or kwakwacheche wo kwakwacheche go nobody is willing to say or kwache this kana hard earned money or the kwakwacheche go so omuntu abama no if the people don't demand they won't give. And the people also have a mindset say sanko for politicians for na mpono say ya anyi omu skampo na so omu kwa omu konya post na omu maye hwibie. So this case no is an attitudinal mindset. It's a change of mindset holistically no Ghana also nyina ye den genya. But one person we will have to commend highly upon this brouhaha concerning NDC by election at Ayawaso East Baba Jama issue. Let me talk about that one few before I come to the NPP own. You see, when that one happened now, immediately, the president of the land, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, once Oshe na Mambo Naseno, or the BBI a friend Code of Conduct and Ethics at the Baye say, or no, and name crop or no mubu mind, yeah, shany idea. Inti yawo kwan also ototo onioma oye appointee akwan also oye onioma no inti onu wetina simpie so John Dramani Mahama wetina simpie so say wa oni bia obeye hwehan na ode enkekaye boni ebeba na mamuo no ho no onfa ho ntokra. So even when that thing came up now, he look at the code of conduct now or the asset one. Immediately now, Baba Jama was withdrawn from his high position as being the ambassador for Ghana in Nigeria. It has never happened in the history of Ghana. It is an unprecedented act. And this shows you how serious. This shows you how His Excellency John Dramani Mahama view his governance. Say, my governance, Macron, there be His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on carrying agents like the NPP former president. No, that is not His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. In Tubasha, immediately now, Baba Jama, everyone. This I'm saying, for the past 8 years, NDC, NPP, buying corruption. Yaya Timi, Yaya ni Fidi Gadochi. Omu ya hu Sicilia da pa she cathedral de ya sikatwitwi di omu ye emu ya your friend is saying omu de kwama nkramofo a bawumia the flag bearer for the NPP okwaji ye sa ni omanioma ni nyina no His Excellency Nanado class anglofo ni nyina oklo mu nyina so omu ani boni bia. But come to John Dramani Mahama was show leadership, and this is what we all have to commend. Now, you see, right now, this has become a precedent. Obia, all about our government, Mubian, able to say, oh, someone to me, you may, you bet me, you may me, DBA, me one. And we should also commend the NDC hierarchy. The fact, when the situation came and it became adverse in the public domain, as a political party, they took a swift action by condemning their own people. That is what leadership do. This is proper leadership. And they even set up a 3-member committee to investigate or probe into the allegation. I will say, for the past 8 years, now, when can of politicians be near Kotwa about Yen Chadi? He says, people for prime minister, I'm going to now. Unimsika would do almost chaye. Yet, one in Messiah chance. Oh, Canada, Japan, the Nediaba, Baumia, the Nediaba, Aka, Educhum, and Fanny, the Amani, or Moncotomano, young TV. So when they were sharing 700, when they started sharing 3,000, when they started sharing 5,000 Ghana cedis, 3,000 and the 5,000 Ghana cedis that they shared, then people shared in their prime minister. Only TV, no one and the boy. But the truth of the matter is say, and yeah, say we are be and I say we be. We should all understand, say it has become part of us, and if we have to change that, you're able to me, because I remember 2020. If you remember, Asenof by election. And this is an internal thing. Obianco for OBS is an internal thing. As enough. Yako by election. You remember when the NPP government machinery sent all their arsenals to Asenof? Now almost just a cement bag. Almost to meet 5 bags of cement. Iron rod, no more check. Almost chaya 30 rows. And this is I would do almost chair. You can't then. When I set up investigation a committee be woman. But you do pomponsobia due to the governance of His Excellency Dr. Mahama no. Ama Ghana for asserting government no standard no so high. In some of these in your manners and by NPP abroso and Quebec say enya no. Esan say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama asserted by ni high no. Ama obianya ba no so okay anyway enya intien kan wansem. So it is true. So far as enya ne de mo mi nyina nka ne nyina egyan. But it will take time. Because this has become like as an attitude the voters they have. Before we can change some of these things, no, we have to take so many practical approaches. Lawrence, LSLC, when you go to our various institutions, LSLC, to become LSLC executive,
political. Politics in
so the there. It starts from there. And garbage in, garbage out. If we start from there, where would it end? And aside that, Nimpono, assemblyman for assemblyman for so person of one community the crown, community the edge in the BB and San or Marco to a banana. You see that thing? Our constituency elections, the primaries, the regional elections, the national elections, they take. So we should not be hypocrites. We should accept that this is the problem that we all political hemisphere we are dealing with. So we should find a way to tackle this. And to find a way to tackle this, as I said, it will take time. And this is where the NCCE should come in and start educating people. To start educating people from the JHS and the SHSA. Oh, Kotua Bamobia. Manko, Jiris into man, the person competency obey to me diabua. Na yan try as yan sister adwene na wo voters voting ne say nimpa kro no say ye kwato aba ni wie na so kogina pompon so bi a ono nkwa na obedi ye on fie enti eni kanye ne prep na wuti nimpa kro dis kan nyina na so oba bedi post na obedi aboa. You see, so we have to get attitudinal change, a transformative mindset to go about these things. And the second thing is, we have to do reforms in our electoral laws so that a bit to me I capture the inter-party electoral process, no, whereby there will be law that will be punitive enough. Say you who vote buying and now vote selling, the law can take its due course. We can't talk much about some of these things because even in the general election, whereby some of these allegations are made of vote buying, when they set committee to investigate, when they acquire for ecosystem, you see ecosystem. So there's no much deterrent. You see, as enough. A whole NPP cabinet machinery. They were there sharing everything that they have to share. We were all at a sense of we saw. I don't know can it's time also see the NDC for a take step. Say almost increasing even their committee from 3 to 7 to look at the broader perspective, how we are going to, find a solution to this manner. Now, to me, you vote buy and you vote sell, from our electoral processes. Because politicians beyond one man or one in right sense, where now this opportunity scale go, there be politicians beyond one. No more, you find say, who Lawrence here, who host the programming, Dr. Yadoma or one minute, you call election. You pre the same position. You see you triashe. You kwa that, and you kwa to obey. Me trust you because me do say me da o be sorry
that's not me interest you say we be find
it you nyina be kwa kofa ya ho achi. That is it. And timamufo no omko to aba no, and so they would demand from us. So we shouldn't be young kind of crane. This is the problem that Ghanaians we are having. And if we are solving and you so then this reaction hypocrisy it will help us. Assembly ba ni abenu. Hey, na Baba Jama you say, na Baba Jama you say, Baba Jama ko chewe, Baba hey. Politician bana okwa election on cherry da. Ba wo miane eyi e fe se Canada Japan. Edu tum. Any omom kaka. Unu mi omom che. Assemblyman election kra omun twiska, omun demand this guy. Momian kan okwa ni nche ye ho. Yen find an elastic and a proper solution to this menace. Nah, yen come on board. You see, this high time the political parties never come on board. Nyaka say the delegate system no a problem because the delegate system only few people in Omukotu Abana. So if only few people in Omukotu Abana, if I target them with this kind of money, I know I'm going to win. But if the whole NDC people in Ghana, Kotu Aba Edia Maweya, politician Ben obetumi enye ska achama NDC for more Ghana nyina. Politician Ben in obetumi enye ska achama NPP for more Ghana nyina no. You see, when we know the problem, then we think of the solutions. Sisi am no say aside say ya can asem no. Betumi am 3 good solutions e betumi eden. E take to curtail this menace. But it won't be instantly. Seriously, because it has become part of us, it will take time before we get wherever we get. Into MP before no more jandam no. MP omo from where you go. That they are very hypocrite. Omo paying for no crown. Omo care more than the Baba Jama chair no. Aha. Into omunya Baba Jama. Baba Jama is now being cleared, and he is the candidate that NDC for year present Ediako. And also no one really was East. If whether they like it or they don't like it, he's going to win there. It's winning na yeko winning no and and we are going to win there. It's a sure bet. It's omunya Baba Jama. No munya hypocrisy no moye no. Na semba ni so wa na wina. And NPP no why me here no.
Oba Mbacho, Oba. Let me introduce your brother from the same party. Openi Bennett. Openi, I think Abraham has made his point, and some of this, like he rightly mentioned, it will take a while for some of these things to be cleared, because we need, as the president is resetting the country, it's a reset of mind. But I just want to find out from Openi Bennett, even as we head towards the NDC elections, because you have an election coming up, that is a presidential primaries, how do you even go about it? What could be the best so that you see from the primary level, and affected on that platform as well?
You mean me that say yeah, I see for na reform country na fidie no mo ana aja so akraba ho
na me nje ostima baako na me husa nkofo share pa ba fifrimpon Robert Kempwe me hu messages asempa hene boache Tanko Yakubu Tanko Kwame Ajiman me aminu no bra pani pa no Jibodi efua eni kwaku yevu nyame ya obi mpacho ye hu messages ni na ba gibre na aka ma na emu share so no hia papa nti say mo di messages na ba no saa so na mo share na adwumede na ntimi enko da nim na nya kese e wa na sentata so openi e kwan ni woni
yo menia me da se pi say na me go so say party leadership I show commitment that going into the future I was the first into to na mo ebeboama vote buying vote selling akọ form. And I think say NDC being the leader of society say any forming government we are the poster will be here or minimum. And if we believe say vote buying has been a tradition for a very long time and it is wrong there, then this is the right time for us to actually change the narrative. And so the NDC is in the right position to change that traditional narrative there. Vote buying is quite conventional or in political space in the moment. And going forward now and going into constituency, regional and national, primaries, the NDC would put measures in place to make sure that vote buying is a thing of the past. And I am calling on the leadership, any Yura people quite say omo to say omo na the engine of the organization, and the omo be cannot say final. If somebody like me, I can say vote buying is something that is destroying our political space, and it is taking competent people out of our political environment. Because Nancy Mitier, Yura, Attorney General, no, can say, was spending more than $1 million to go to Parliament. I mean, how many, competent people have, that amount of money, are making their campaigning at Parliament? It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible for a lot of people. So at the end of the day, you go to Parliament and you see the caliber of more Parliament and you can see say they are not really fit to be in that space. It is because they had the money to buy, voters and so if you want to make sure say the competent people are by Parliament almost several by Amana, then we should find a way to sort of reduce vote, even if you intermediate completely, we should be able to reduce it significantly so that we have competent people go into administration. So they be a bit more minor etimi atumpon. And to say the American, I am calling. I mean, a idea hammy. A very very shameful. Say, Obomu say, Obi say, or check motorbikes or check TV sets because a idea or one that I mean, it is so disgusting. Say because so I expect to say development, beba. I think say the minia that's the kind. I was say NCC any electoral commission in invest a lot in voter education. Said you bet me educate Ghana for right from primary school level. The reason why they are so much and what they should expect from their politicians. If we name the entire and you know the expectations are what the member of parliament and that's a MP and that's a president, you will not expect something for him to go and serve you. So when we say a kwana any member of parliament so champion or course there should be no reason why you would expect something from him and son what so I mean it doesn't really make sense. And I am very happy with decisioner by recalling Baba Jamal as Ghana's ambassador to Nigeria. At least that has set a precedent. Say, and unfortunately, there is a clear distinction between party and government. Even though NDC and the Wabamono, there's a distinction between the two, and that is why, as much as Eric Colley, Baba Jamal, and I say Baba Jamal, the party could not do the same because there's a clear distinction between the two. But now the party and also a champion said.
Right, I think so. Opinion Kunedu Homano, Hanekaka. Let me take this opportunity now. So far, maybe read some of the messages are, but Mamimbo everywhere or Twitch. Right from there, no matter Facebook, let me take it just one or two. Then we'll continue. I'm sure say before we come back on now, Opinion affecting our one. If we have some messages on Twitch, Mamim Kodamim na mention the okay. If not, let me go on Facebook and read some of the comments. So far, okay, so from Pond Befi says, greeting my people watching from Akuse near Sumenya. From Pond that's it. But you make sure you say the Shama and Anata Frimu says, good evening, watching from totally northern Ghana. Ghana should start taking serious looks at other cash crops. Patriotic. See, northern Ghana, we need a trend. Shea butter, Kuria, Kurjinjay. You need ever show on. NDC Diaspora Union says, greetings, Honorable Bennett Kunedu. Your submissions are always super and easy to understand. Greetings from Amsterdam, Holland. If we open Bennett Kunedu NDC Diaspora Union. As a pioneer, Boachi says, watching and listening from Achim Himan, good show. Achim Himan for Inamot is a yes, Masim Pacho, Moon share Emma and Adwidino. into me NKP for. So Mavis Boatin says, good evening. Watching with the family from Lisbon, Portugal. Okay, that's it. Mami Tanko Yakubu Tanko says, watching from Douala. Okay, Tanko, that's it. I think the opening Bennett Ahumano Ejinaso. Say engineer so then I'll try and engage Abraham again. My last one we now me engaging. It says Sikaba family. Bennett is a great communicator watching from Jumapo near Kufuridia. Thank you so much. Lady Mao says watching on Twitch from St. Petersburg, Russia. Ghana is moving in the right direction. Yedamase. Lady Mao says powerful show. Yedase. Mpacho mun share my pa mun make sure the shares no. See the shares ni hear me ankasa. Opening kwa me ajimai. The shares will be a ocean wuti. Greetings. Great show. Keep up. Greetings to Yadom and co-panelists. Kwame Ajiman, Freiburg, Germany. Okay. Now let me try and engage Bennett on this one again. If he's back. Now if he's not, Abraham, straight to you. I think Bennett was trying to make a point. Now yeah, a choir, ebia economy no. Enyama assembly is primary see a condemn ntimi nkopim the presidential way I no internal elections I no after flag bearership no. How do we deal with it?
Robin, thank you. I think the first step, the General Secretary of the NDC and the functional executive for Iron. Once the assembly by normal the kind set up a 3-member committee. Now they've increased the 3-member committee by 4, which has become a 7-member committee to holistically look of how this vote buying and vote selling will be curtailed in the subsequent future. It will start with the branch elections. Once the timetable of the NDC's elections is out here. So it will start from the branch. So if we are hoping, say, the 7-member committee now, the functional executive committee of the NDC are set to look out where you are able to meet and preventing some of these vote buying and vote selling. They should be really on top and come out quickly with their findings, so that able to me where me are preventing going forward some of these problems, because branch elections I didn't say April or May and a branch elections basso. And from there you move to the constituency elections. And we the constituency executives, we okay, because it's scary. Looking at the number of people delegates on to about within this Escado Keten, over 1,326. Now, if I'm going for election and have to find a way to please all of them, where am I going to get that money? So if when that report comes earlier, it will save all of us. So I pray that the report will be fine enough. Able to make buy in. Sometimes we talk about, so when they are coming to vote, at least you have to give TNT, but it has to be moderate, so that there won't be much wastefulness. I share the same thing with what Mr. Yadom said.
Even with the TNT, maybe there's a bus at a particular point to convey people to a place where they are. Then after that, they are all more back.
Good. That is why you see in myself and my brother's submission, we accepted the fact that the thing has become like a tradition. Even the internal distance, it's not as if like you are paying something, but it's like, so far as the person is wasting their time to spend the whole day there, you have to give something to the person as a TNT, food or water insect shots. So if the party in a way will come out with a strategic invention that, okay, in every constituency, we are going to provide buses all the branches, we are going to give this money for their TNT, or we are going to give this food or water to them. Then we, the executive, those who are going to contest for the position, we will even be safe. They will even help us because I will go for election. That means I will go for election. But if I look at other people, maybe for them, for now, they have some position that they are having in governance, so they may have resources. But me, I am competent enough to maybe to help my constituency because I don't have money. I may be at the lost side. Okay, so when some of this thing comes, it will help all of us. So I only pray that they will come out with a strategic inventions that will help all of us to fine tune and even eradicate, or if not eradicate, to reduce the vote buying and the vote selling. And we should not think say it is only common in Ghana. In other jurisdictions, some of these things is there, but they have a nice way of doing it. If you sit at the comfort of your home and you vote online, can I come and bribe you? Can you come and tax me for TNT? You see, And when the thing becomes too public, everybody is seeing that you are sharing this item too. That is what brings the insanity into the process. So I only wish and pray that we all come together and support the 7-member ad hoc committee when they come out with their findings, and we all rally behind them so that at least we'll find a way best to go about this coming primaries of the NDC.
Let me go back to Bennett. Now, I think he was making a point before, and the line no anyway. Bennett.
Your minia, medasipi, from Fanchami. And said na minia does the air canal. I think that the time has come for us to begin to have a very conscious discussion about how your politics echo. Are we sending people who have big pockets, or we are sending people who have the mental capacity to lead our country? I mean, the options are there for us to choose which one is better for us. But I believe that the best option would be to select the best people who have the best interests of this country at heart. Na send them to Abam, no champion and cause. I mean, that is the most important thing I was here. I mean, giving you a bag of rice or giving you a tin of tomatoes will not change a lot in your life. I mean, it's just temporal. So, but whatever you will be as any panel or konako small, now okwanya enye no ahwene yaye nsu ebi ni ukrom ahwama na bana. I mean, those are lasting solutions to lasting problems. And so those are the kind of things I was saying here. And I quite remember say in making suggestions that we should have patriotism as a subject right from primary school through to senior high school, so that by the time we senior high school, we understand the reason why we should be committed to our country. And we should also understand that no individual interest is superior to that of national interest. And if so support a political party, we now say individual within the party IEBB, and say any panel because we don't vote, over time against the interest of a party, and as against the interest of mine. Now, Sebi, Odona Oma or mine, na NCP. And all these things, I'll see a share. Now, you structure your political system, using education. We cannot continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. It doesn't really, change a lot. And said the party leaders before say a constituency elections before say be draw no a very clear regulations and to say these are parameters. If you go beyond the parameters, these are sanctions are waiting my face. Let Obi also are very strong in the party, or perform best support into by the open. Let any Panama may side and the party and Panufun bit my. I also set a very clear path to say this is how we govern a country, this is how a political space would be. Yeah, no question mark money a dictator who leads our country or who occupies a position. That we should try as much as possible to stop it. MYN. And I mean, if Obi spending $1 million to go to parliament, I mean, signing for Nakatria is saying a member of parliament, Nakatria for a period of 4 years, saying it was spending $1 million at the parliament. Imagine Sika also was siphoning from the public and some ultimate Chiasa Sikana or the parliament, and some of what they remember about Petiaso. And the other will be Amanako parliament. 4 years in your maybe because we can work. If you move bank for Jebosia, if you move Tom or move property at the parliament. Now, so I turn the fee at the parliament. Officers will see the fee, will see a change or toy now, or be you quite the amount. Or champion say missing, you may show a class man. Oh, yeah. So as I say, Benufosi and Pasonti Liga. And they say, your politics is not by to say, I say, you're torn idea. And what you mean, Tomoa and William Paso. So, and also a guas system for me, a guas system say, Yabaka say, one mammy TV, one mammy motorbike, one mammy 3,000 cities are mental amount. I mean, a guas system. Yeah, actually, the level of your thinking as a people. They be a mechanic. So, Osha or Maya, your woman to say, or my Ghana, there should be no justification. I was say, or mine is 77 bit man on what you're obviously, through politics, yes, Senna, Minia, and if we could, close all these, loopholes, a bit woman, Sika, or what say, a young man who man, that's the kind of better man, any about man. I mean, report about say Ghana loses over $3 billion every year to financial, illicit financial outflows. Women now and a debate. It's the bois near stop it. I don't know when a bit one woman, Busaka, a quadruple film performer as well, a banner politicians a year, a fan at a church of more contract and in a record. I'm yet to be a ball man or bra. And so we are delegate now for 12 bar. Don't expect the politician, don't expect the candidate to give you money. Don't expect him to buy you a television set or a motorbike. So at the end of the day, or problem tends to solve for 12 bar. The TV set will not solve it. The motorbike will not solve it. We say also motorbike back here saying. Say, can delegates pay 1,000 or 30 more? Just imagine how much money echo into buying those motorbikes, and how long they take to any finance. Some about those are the kind of things I want to hear. It should not be just a motorbike. It should not just be 5,000 Ghana cedis. Now, about school fees in point saying, so buy arena so the hospital 5,000 cedis in a bit to Pasasi can or do my individuals or no. So one of these hospitals are or buy a proper care. These are kind of the things that also if you're politicians or not Sika. You will be championing NDC's cause, not because we want money, but because we want the best for our country. And that is the reason why they see now some of us were very disappointed. Because Ghana for said the NDC is very different from the NPP. And so if BBC, we cannot justify the with the NPP for a year. Because we already know Ghana for him say they are very different from the NPP. So we should set our own standards. Going into the constituency and regional and national primaries, we should do things differently. We should do things differently. And if some of us will come, we're not going to shy away from the truth. You better buy one thing, you have a Bashir, Yankee party near candidates or may exhibit opulence. We are not going to support some of these things. And then I'm here doing penso a dream. Chronom and Sempata. But who 40-meter filling stations verified because all but all 3 months will be cancelled or Bantino when you depend to pay with my year. She Mustafa Hamid. And no man within 4 years. No man or year. All because we say all pray to me or say sika into our body. My members can go to be said every and no name or man and coso. And no name or man and coso. And for my baba we are for 12 months. Yanti Katasha bien free about upon TV. And that is what we wanted. And we only want anybody to come and destroy the track record of the government. So the also person Kona stand as a president. Next Ghana for so opposite about Bokrono. Ghana for Oba the open. But as long as you region Romani Mahama and the actual man Ghana for what you do, if you are serving under his administration, you should commit yourself to the cause. Ne eja juma Ghana for ni beso. Na so we juma ni ya da che beboa. Abra de bia me say ohwe Robert Mugabe na hwe ekwan fa so obu Zimbabwe. Owie sika bebrebe e de bi be South Africa de bi ko hyen amount bebrebe mu a na obi si edu ba bia na omoto a loaf of bread for $1 million no Zimbabwean dollars no ni sika na owie no it had no value basanko your money here and ka okuta 1 cedi mpo na so $1 e bia it would have worth something enti ye build o man na mo me o man ye de na o man mpuntuo ensi eni small. Unfortunately omo championing the interest of the country, the people see them as poor people, and so they don't see them as worthy enough to be sent to parliament and into government. And so now I again and he said, media mwakuma mo ni sodumu toba me kwa be your money me kwa me say or so then I buy. Obi a sebi onni botaye onni hwe ne dia wo ni sika no boto emu odunti no or the beba na beto bus no now or the akọ parliament and I saw the akọ ban. We should not continue this trend. And as I said, the NDC is the leader of society, she said, and we should do things differently. We should set a new precedent for political parties and in free. And so indeed, so all day both buying a criminal offense at national level, but even at party level, we should institute something hold people to account.
Okay.
Intimania.
Right. But that's it on your submission. Now, the next topic: President Mahama called for an emergency cabinet meeting on cocoa sector. The President Mahama has called an emergency cabinet meeting on February 11th, 2026, to address the challenges in Ghana cocoa sector. The meeting is set to tackle issues such as delayed payments to farmers on sold cocoa beans at the port and financing constraints affecting licensed buying companies. The chief executive, Randy Abbey, acknowledging the difficulties with payments, stating that Cocoa Board, the Ministry of Finance, and the government of Ghana are working to resolve this issue. The meeting is aimed to urgent and sustainable solutions to stabilize the sector. Mr. Remo, one of the things I'm for. We're very happy about during the campaign season, somewhere around 2023 down to 2024 before the general elections. Na kwafori da so ina nse se aban a osi ba na nka che se the economy and sector bi mu aye de na nka mo so mboto mbe mo de ankoba ne sa na the as kakra be na sisi akoko pharmacy bi di ankasa. And then you could pay more social media and even TV stations, radio stations. Now only cocoa farmers the kind of things they are saying. It means they are bleeding. Now we are quite brave. I said people are beginning to regret, especially farmers are beginning to regret why they voted for President Mahama. For instance, and they are which is a cause of worry. Now, make sure some 24 the near go just to tackle these issues. But side issue I'm tackling it for my next discussion. Now, I'm called Penny Abraham. GD and California or NDC, especially with farmers, as I may know. I said, no mass sakaka. What is being done to tackle the issue? And as a party, what concerns are you showing? What was the assurance everything will get back on track? Well, our farmers, will they be happy again?
Okay, so
10 minutes on this.
There's a problem.
Our
young cocoa sector no emo. But that does not mean say the farmers have regretted voting for NDC. Because the farmers know what the NDC government is doing. The farmers they know. But just that say a common dewa ema weni ebre. Commode wa emweni ebre. You see, the NPP in the past 8 years mess up the cocoa industry. This is a factor Ghana Nibia enim. You know, when we started with this syndicated loan for the past 32 years, when we reached 2022 to 2023, we realized how na omo atoto omino na omo de baby na omine ka akoduro also haircut eba na omo ko IMF for honomo no. There were so many structural reforms ebaye to the extent say them syndicated loan, the cocoa board couldn't get that loan to pay the farmers. It's a pilot. That is when over here, since NPP came to take over governance, cocoa board ebo kadebia, cocoa board ebo kadebia, and it was only 2024 to 2025. I can say the free syndicated loan. Only I call the financing model. Inti ekana ekuono no enya se adibio. And say 2024-2025. 2024-2025. Koko na ye totoye no. Yenye eska infantry aye. Ena koko bebre nsuku wono ma yenya atofo emomo meto. So what is the reason? Reason ni nyina ene say sisiano say meye LBC them local cocoa buyers for no. So omo ba no mba beto cocoa na. Cocoa board for edi omo ka ena meka bubura NPP aban ebogu honom ninti. Inti omo ni sikampo a omo betumi dia koto cocoa no edi etua eye farmers for no eka. That is the problem. Cocoa board for it to be omo ka because currently I'm no kasi. What price are cocoa ne ewono as we for like 60%. And a Ghana for and surprise na yekutano yente so edaso osro. It is a me a businessman. Me a businessman. There's no way say me banama babeto eye Ghana for cocoa no because ne bo e was any competitive will be. So I prefer to go to the world market and ne bo e work for because Ghana there no e was. That is why yenya buyers mo meto farmers when you cocoa no. Inti this adi that is the problem. Inti government no I call for emergency meeting and that is what leadership must do. And that is what I always say it takes only visionary leader like His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to reset. No other person can do reset except His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Immediately I never hear national problem no. You have to call for emergency meeting of cabinet so that we can find a solution, a temporary and lasting solution for this problem. So this politicization and propaganda from the NPP side, they should bow their head to same because they cause the problem. And miracle abwadia onye cocoa farm akobwa NPP for no cocoa farm we say omu complaining about cocoa farm. Shame to them. You cause the problem, and because government is continuous, you are not turning around. Meanwhile, you cause the minutes. And yet, the say emergency meeting, I come out with a solution. A bit to me, abuama farmers one a high omo ekakra. And saying, Sisiano, according to the finance minister, yeah, to be honest, say you perceive restore sanity back into the system, then we have to look at the world prices. Now, young fan compare Ghana for prices, no, not to be entirely because Ghana prices, no, I was through. There's no investor and non businessman or babeto in your man, I was through. No investor will do that. It is a Ghana prices no reflect the world prices in the year. On no a cabinet together with the finance minister no, I can say now they are going to give 90% of the world prices no more year to me no. Almost the amount a year you can say the farmers 90% almost demand the farmers. I've been see that in the history of Ghana. But so far as I say, na a one was so necessary a bad for me, you know. People would think and do propaganda with it otherwise. But on the surface, in any commodity trade, a demand and a supply in a determined prices. So right now prices no ever from the end it has to reflect. But we are giving the government is giving a chunk of the money, which is 90% to the farmers. To the farmers, 90% to the farmers. And enyoma ema ekabebre eba eye cocoa board no something like the cocoa road na omodema contract unnecessary within 2018 omo so to eye 2022 na contract and coffee award nko eye 21.5 billion for cocoa road. Cocoa board for a day. How can the financial books of cocoa board be credible? How can it be attractive for investment? It cannot. So under this emergency meeting, since there has been a reform, almost reducing almost the bed cocoa road bed, almost absorb the road ministry. The road ministry, so that it will clear some of the debt of the cocoa board, so that their books will look good. Another thing that also come out from it, and say, a car na cocoa board for a day the finance ministry. A car na cocoa board for a day the Bank of Ghana. Say now it has to be borne by the finance ministry and the Bank of Ghana themselves, so that the books of cocoa board will look attractive and attract investment. It's this year now we no upper form no now reflect the you can say the world prices no. Now the investors will come in, and one important thing a resulting from this emergency meeting from cabinet no, and they say this year no cocoa board for top cocoa no with the help of the finance ministry, and the cocoa na egu na Ghana for yankasa you see 50% of the cocoa no ya refining cocoa no Ghana has then the rest of the 50% no will now be outsourced to ya turn at their different country. Now we see when all these things are put together now, then meaning say the cocoa industry and the cocoa board no will now look more attractive and will attract more foreign investment. But since here, the problem on the ground is say, cocoa no, and this come the because Ghana for cocoa no bo a ding. This year no more reducing no abana reflected prices in the end. Fair because Ghana cocoa is rate than most of the countries who produce cocoa. No. So now they will get enough money to me a day abeto. And also due to the fact that some of the debt by cocoa board no has now been absorbed by the finance ministry and the Bank of Ghana. No. The Bank of Ghana and the finance ministry will be able to pay the licensing buyers. No, they will be able to pay them so that they can also get money to go and buy the cocoa from the farmers, and our farmers will also be happy. We don't want a situation whereby we don't want a situation whereby farmers for because cocoa and now due to galamsey insanity, people are not even interested to go and do cocoa. So when this thing continues, then they will have no other alternative than to sell it to a friend saying, galamsey, of which I am pennies. My parents and my grandparents are cocoa farmers. So when some of these things are higher, and the government is taking a strategic positions and effort to curtail this remedy. But we are pleading with the cocoa farmers because they know that the NDC has been with them. When the prices was high in the world market, we gave them the prices. We gave them enough price of the commodity. And now world market no access no, we are still giving them 90% of the same amount. 90%.
Okay.
At first we
Let's
gave
stop
them
that.
70. After we gave them 70, but now we are giving them 90%. So we are pleading with our cocoa farmers. They should get a hope and assurance from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his team. And they should know, say, the government will do everything possible to restore their sanity back. Because NPP for a normal boy bro, ama ya bedu sam pempen so enya sa na kasa situation we nyina emma.
That's it. But that's the same on the still on the same topic now. MJ Openi Bennett, thank you, Ibrahim, for your bite. Openi Bennett.
Yo, Minia, Medasipi, say, and some of the Minia does actually more menacing. Baby, a DCC and a NPP and a dear Dra. Now, the Inter Americans are say, Obeka, say 2023-2024 season. No, I'm projected say, I won't be 800,000 metric tons of cocoa. And no mudina so at the Kokoji Busia. Now, by the end of the season, me just over 55% of their own projection. Na a kind of one more. Now say about it in metric tons was about 333 thousand metric tons. Now say about a kaya buy now one more. Now say I rule over now see it no. Now Osha says Sikana sa metric tons do a babeda way. Sikana was say a free move over $1 billion. And I say a free move. And on a man, a Ministry of Finance, a day $70 million. A day for so, Ghana Cocoa Board as Senate, said a bear on way to me, abo on the Minia, say, a bano, I idea, say, what show commitment, any transparency, and actually, yen Yamamo, and never Pamokia for say, to say no Sena, ye cocoa sem nedru, enti as a bino. You beck a table, now your kind of Befasoa, sub-Sabia for so yama a common end one. You can say, I'm say, OPEC countries and the countries that will produce oil now, they have a strong say in terms of said I would say oil price echo. And Ghana and Ivory Coast being the major producers of cocoa in the world now. I think say we should have it's hard time. I was say it's a very strong say in the pricing of cocoa on the world market. We cannot continue to produce to feed the global market at our own expense. Now, my memoir and I say upon mushing class here, Breno. Now a common guso diomo. Now a bar. Now a buyer and a add blame nina. The cocoa industry, no, any cocoa products. Industry worth over $1 trillion. But the question is how much of that in the back of your name bottom? And that buying no influence so how the system is set up to be. And anything I may call it for a collaboration between Ghana and Ivory Coast. The good thing is that Ivory Coast is just next door. And Ivory Coast being the largest producer of cocoa. Now Ghana is the second largest producer of cocoa in the world now. I think that we should be able to sit together, around the table and discuss how yes, we be to make an impact in the pricing of cocoa products on the.
Mamefa Kwenya way, so now me moving on to the next topic now. Penny Bennett Bekan Safi. I'm gonna Kwenya man touch on the issues now all can. But I think from last year now, coming down to this, I thought say issue with crampono so far it's me attack, but I say I won't sense me POV. And this is from Transparency International. On report on what from with regards to the removal of the Chief Justice former. Na member and Chimukakra. Okay. So the report with regards to the removal of the former Chief Justice, this report provides detailed exploration of the legal framework governing the removal of justice in Ghana, analyzing its potential impacts on the judiciary, and examines related case studies to offer broader perspective on of the Constitution, Ushima outlined in the law, submission of petition, referral to Council of State, sanction of Constitution of the Tribunal, inquiry of recommendations. In fact, kakaso. Na issues we know. In conclusion, my conclude the removal of a chief justice is a delicate matter that requires careful adherence to constitutional provision and due processes. While it's an essential mechanism for ensuring accountability, it must be handled with transparency and impartiality to safeguard the judiciary's independence and credibility. The implications of such decision extends beyond the individual involved, affecting judiciary rules and upholding democracy in the rule of law, respectively. We a reporter. I couldn't go much into details because of, Yamrenity. So this one I would like to give my guests just 5 minutes just to touch on it now. Let me go straight to Abraham on this particular one. Abraham, have you seen the report? AB. AB report, Nana. All right. On this note, I still have some more messages on the Facebook platform. Since I'm a promise you, we are saying let me do justice to that until Abraham or Penny Bennett come back on the line. Now I'm finding wrapping up the show. Konedu, have you class on the report by the Transparency International with regards to the removal of the former Chief Justice?
I've just glanced through the report. Na me come a pie the score I about 0.3%, and I think that that should actually reaffirm some level of confidence in the government. Say abino no sebsebi etwa. We believe going forward now this year report na, and I said by the end of 2026 now report now even better. But with Chief Justice removal, say, I mean, na obvious say, I mean, I'll see in the floor. I mean, on one side department and Ankasa, a report, another complaints against her, say, in free, petitions in floor. And of course, Transparency International report now, yes, a capture a bit shaping decisions going into the future. But the most important thing is that score way above the Nana Danko Akufo-Addo in the entire 8 years as president of Ghana. And no any idea or say you have inspiration or say for free. So they be you bet me improve on it. Now by the end of the term, now at least it's move Ghana above 60%. So they be a bit more restore confidence in the Ghanaian economy and our legal system. And many also, and as much as Chief Justice the overall score are very positive. And you say young person performing well. Me and my client, we bear a person who no you mean to one in the panini. Say the bear and abano ekata and no be so. You need classified information. If you classified information, we should only be clear, say, we classified information, so we cannot go out. And no, any idea I was say yeah. But overall, no, in the last 12 months, Abana conducting Abana has two and that should actually underpin the score. Yeah, you know. Nti minia ɛna deɛ ɛmɛ abana yɛ adeɛ nti ɛwɔ abana yɛ first time in office afei ne yɛ normal and even with that yɛtumi anya saa score wei a na kyerɛ sɛ ɛwɔ sɛ yɛbɔ yɛn ho aba so ɛwɔ de toto Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo ne first time a anaasɛ ne first year a ɛm sɛ ne score na nyɛ as great as what we have today nti no yɛbɛbɔ abana aba so na yɛaka sɛ yɛnyere yɛn ho na yɛntoto no ma yie sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ sɛdeɛ meka yɛn no by the time I leave office and I say in term we nkɔ na wie no na yɛtumi apagya Ghana de adu at least 60% na ayɛ above average na yɛsoso yɛaka sɛ yɛbaeɛ no ade wei ne yɛtumi ayɛ ma Ghana afa ne nsɛm apagye afira I mean all of these ratings no ɛboa the confidence ɛbɛhyɛ investors mu sɛ so ne sika ba bɛhyɛ ɔman no mu a sɛbisɛbi ne sika no ɔnto mu anaasɛ obi mfa kwatikwan bi so enwie sika no ana emfa ne sa mo sika no mu a mmara ne sa nipa no eni nti ɛyɛ very very important nti ɛyɛ good say aban no ɛde bɛto ne ho so sɛ ɔbɛyɛ improve ana sɛ ɔde deliberate measures bɛto akwan mu sɛ de bɛyɛ bɛtumi improve on our score na ɛtumi attract more investors into our economy because any African economies nyinaa ɛɛtra sɛ ɔmbɛ attract foreign direct investment and one of the most important things that investors will transparent in your governance architecture. In so governance architecture and any too transparent that free particularly West no and risk so no musical show man. A very important so be very intentional when it comes to building confidence and in creating a system where transparency can easily be measured. Now Abuama get me attracting investors na about man for job for our people. It's a very positive, but the negative situation we work on it, now improve on it going into the future.
Thank you. Abraham, I'll give you 5 minutes to touch on this. Now, let me also know from you, say, if by chance you've seen the report from the Transparency International regards to the removal of the former Chief Justice, and what do you make out of it?
Well, I think my senior comrade Yadom put it in the right perspective. I expect Senka Omobema more than what they've given us. Okay, though the Nyano is much better than that of the NPP whole 8 years. And to even inform you, the NDC Corruption Performance Index has always been far better than that of the NPPs. It has always been far better. Just that there's always more room for improvement. But I was expecting us to go more higher than the one that they gave us. Because we've been in existence like a year, and there's no one single corruption-related activity in the government. There's not single one. Even when they try to force and massage some to the NDC cry, it doesn't fact. You see, and when we came to the way we institute the aura, and how we are canvassing on the aura to get the lost money back to Ghanaians. No, I was expecting more than that. When people were calling us to the president to even do away with OSP, the president insisted and said, no, we have to keep the OSP. All these things was a clear indication of. But if in their report they are citing the removal of a chief justice, fine, that's what it's called corruption perception index. It's a perception, that's what it is called. So, but I think for this one, it is a constitutional exercise which has been set out in the Constitution. So if they think there's a recommendation that what is in the Constitution that we followed, then we should write back to Parliament for us to get a referendum and change the Constitution. But as far as the Constitution is concerned, the removal of the Chief Justice, I don't know what it tantamount to that of a corruption perception that there's an inducement or an influence by the executive within the process. It wasn't so. It wasn't so. So though they have stated it, but myself, I don't buy into it. And I think if they are basing on as if the Constitution, the clauses and the articles in the Constitution that set the ball rolling for the removal of the Chief Justice. So the thing should not come from the petition should not send to the president. The president should not forward it to the Council of State. The Council of State shouldn't set up a member committee to probe. When they say that they don't want that and they are saying something else, then fair. But once it has been enshrined in the Constitution and we are following the Constitution, well, I don't think it should have been a cause of why we didn't get more. Because per the performance of NDC in our 1 year of existence, we should have gotten more. Because even the external, the Western world, they've seen the reforms, and now the foreign investment is coming. The restoration of the Ghanaian hope is now back. Everybody is now calling on Ghana presidents. The confidence is there. But I am taking cue from what my senior brother Yadom said. That you see some of these reports set as a guidelines for the government to do more. So we believe and hope in the subsequent one, the one that will come this year or probably early next year for 2026, we are going to get higher than that of the one that we've gotten. We are going to get higher than that of the one that we've gotten. But every Ghanaian knows that the inception of President John Dramani Mahama government has bring about a reset, has bring about a sanity, has bring about confidence, has restored the lost hope of Ghanaians, and everybody can testify. And it's marveled the way we've quickly turned around things in the country, that every country want the president of Ghana to visit them. So they should also look at all of these things, and when the next time they are setting up, they should consider all these things and know that the government is doing well. Our score is not that bad.
Can you be stepping down for me?
But I think we can do more and more and more and more than that. But the government in the whole 1 year, there's no corruption-related activity. And that's a human job by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you. This one is coming from Frimpombe. He says, I think the candidate should give the transport money to the constituency executive to share it to the delegate. He's referring to the first topic that we're discussing about. Sampayini says, what Bennett and Abraham are saying is right, but we will get there in the near future. I think we still have some more messages from Facebook, if we can have some of them displayed now. We are far behind time. Okay, so because of emergency, and they Mamincha Mpenifua Omoda Equa Yatsen Fufropa Ewo Kaswa Equi Fufro Air Cash Empowerment Association. Pacho Ubi team or take cash empowerment in Nigeria schedule. In fact, when you wish them champion for Moda Equiano, could be a Matia Mubo a Mawane Memuano. Na yetro mo said ya be ya mutima to music same year na ya wabo mo, and that's what the association is all about. Any schedule some baby am agenda da no sanso na ne mamfanchi akese enkoma omo a sabri omo jai de omo yi na no omo de adaje betaye di chi ni duduma we de ebom mo comment ni mo we ni na we highly appreciate mpeni foi Bennett Yadom Koredu sa or founder for Diaspora Communicators Network. So na Abraham Dazi, Western Region Communications Team member, and they Omunombeka and Salmon any education common. It's been very interesting and educative. Me am the Jumedi which I'm within the Lawrence happy neighbor. Opening stat. I am a boss. Ono she chidi etututu nyoma making sure say Jumedi air course smoothly. Na second come on. And it will be our boy my Jumedi air crabeshen because of a meaning. And then to me and but me sure after the program no. Yeah, the Armenia exhibition because no advert number 2 so you can pick some of the numbers now African people new meeting common that second come over here. Nyame adma next week Thursday ebeshia mpenifo and then the mademo time kakra mfanche me Thursday ebeshia na yeshia mamunim we do it for God and for the love of the country and the media we so amunim no kremre betina no krankwa na yeka introbia ni mudi ntra ebeka wani understand but it's been interesting having all of you around panelists audience and even people who are also commenting. Nyame adma Thursday meshia mo na yedi jumedi na bo for now and here, there will be a asset. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, say yay! The African Arts, Food, Music and Culture Festival, Armenia 2026. Society, ya pa ehun team of Francis Consults, so as Afro as Bitesa, and what Ghana, any Africa, some showcase creativity, and what global stage. So we artists, fashion designer, chef.